Okay, here is the next video in the series. We are doing a small hallway bathroom. These can be really tricky to do when you're a beginner and don't know how to flash a small space like this with a big mirror. Because it's like, okay, my hand's gonna be in the mirror. How do I do this? How do I deal with this? I will show you my method here. So I'm gonna show you what I got going on here. As you can see, the camera that I'm filming on is just in the shot, and that can't really be avoided based on how we're filming this and the size of the bathroom. But as you can see, we just have like one semi-bright window right there. +1 is looking just fine on the histogram. Let's take a look at 200. 200 looks fine. I can bump this down even to 250 and we're fine. I might even go down to 200 on the ISO just to cut out a lot of that orange light. Not really necessary though. We'll just leave it where it is and we'll save that to a custom mode. Smaller rooms like this, you can get away with a shutter speed of 200 or 250 very easily. So no need for window pulls on this one. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so let's go ahead, grab our ambient shot. We'll go over to our flash. Now we're gonna probably need at least 2 shots here. We don't have any reflection of the actual tripod here. If I did, I would need to light up the hallway back here, just either over here or over here, maybe use a gradient if I need to, and then I would just use the remove tool to get rid of the tripod. But for a small room like this at f7.1, ISO 320, that's kind of our basic baseline standard level settings. I'm gonna go down to 1/8 power on the 8200. This is probably gonna be too hot still, but we'll see. Just bring it in. Whoops, I don't have my trigger turned on. Here we go. Yeah, that's definitely still too bright. Oh, sorry, actually, that was 1/4. There's 1/8. I can bring it down maybe a couple to 1/8 minus 0.7. There you go. It helps to possibly reach in as best you can over the lens to illuminate the room nice and evenly. Okay, so as you can see, we have a couple problem spots here. We have the window getting a reflection and we have the mirror getting a reflection. So here is how I deal with it. I try to get next to the mirror, basically standing in front of the toilet. You'll see it in the shot that I take, and pop a flash right up next to the mirror so that it can get everything going this way. I'll show you what that looks like here. Okay, so that works okay. I still have you can see part of me in the side of the mirror, but we're able to repair the side where my flash was in the main flash shot easily enough. And it also looks like this took care of the window situation as well. We'll just have to use the remove tool to get rid of that. So we could do an actual shower pop here. I'm not going to. I'm going to do that in a different, maybe the master. We'll see. But let's go ahead and jump onto the PC and we'll edit this. Okay, everybody, welcome back to the editing portion. Again, here we are in video 4. We're doing the hallway bathroom here. Very easy set of images to edit here. I will try to edit out my camera, at the very least for the thumbnail, but I'm not super concerned about it. You know, we'll see what the remove tool can do here. So yeah, just a small handful of images here. Really only going to need 3 of these. These ones here, I was just kind of like dialing in the power, and then this one here ultimately is probably the one we will use. Because I think the lighting is probably a bit more even. You can see I actually put my arm further into the room to get some better lighting and more even lighting in it. And then we will use this here for the mirror part. And then like you can see right here, my pouch is right there. I'll try to remove it if I can. And at the very least, we have this here, so we can just maybe like, use this part of this frame, blend it into this one maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, let's go ahead and go through these here in the develop module. Let's take a look at the histogram. I think that the luminosity here is mostly fine. Do I want to push it up a bit? Maybe a bit. 0.2 is probably okay. And then let's get our white balance dialed in here. We'll go to our main shot here. We're at 4,400 and then 26 on tint. Let's try the toilet. I always like to try the toilet or the sink first. And yeah, that just pretty much was right on the dot there. So we'll just go with that. Okay, and so now let's take a look at our pops here. This one I think looks fine. Very far over here on the histogram, but that's just because it's a very white room and we can see the actual flash pop in the mirror here. It's like if I was to, you know, get rid of that, the histogram will definitely change a little bit. You can see it kind of bunched down over there. See that? Kind of shifts around a little bit, so that throws it off slightly, but just looking at it, I mean, it looks fine to me. Oh yeah, I forgot we haven't done our actual preset. What am I thinking? That's why everything is all wonky here. So let's do that. Okay, yeah, that still looks good with a +2 on the exposure. And then this one here, okay, now it does maybe look a little bit too bright. Look at that. -0.1, perhaps, is probably fine. We'll go with that. Okay, so let's pick that, and then we go to this one here. Now we're looking right over here in this area. And I tend to push these like fix shots from the side of the mirror up a little bit, just to make sure that we're well illuminated over here on the side that we're farther away from. So yeah, let's go ahead and pick these 3 right here and we will edit them as layers in Photoshop. All right, here we are. Very simple, 3 layers here. Now, normally when I shoot these smaller bathrooms like this, the hallway bathrooms, if there's no shower, or like you can see the shower in this frame here, I probably just go with this single shot when I'm shooting. If there is a decent shower, I might like put the tripod over here, point it towards the shower, get a shot looking that way. But that's about the extent I do for hallway bathrooms. So this image alone probably would suffice if I were delivering this to a client, in my humble opinion, unless I thought it was, you know, worth going above and beyond. So, what I'm going to do is, just for safety, I'm going to Control-J this fix layer, and just turn off the extra one there, just so that we have a backup in case we need it. We'll go ahead and do the blend real quick. Let me go ahead and open that action there. We'll play that. Okay, that's done. Now, let's see here. What's the best way to do this? So there's a few methods you could go about doing this with. Let's just put a layer mask on this. We'll do B for brush, X for black, and we'll just see what happens when we try to paint it out. Odds are, yeah, this side here is going to be darker, but that's not necessarily the end of the world. We can see what we can get away with here. Just kind of painting over ourselves. Bit of a slow process when you have a low flow, but again, I like that control. Okay, so there I am out of it. So now let's actually like get rid of some of this flash going on here along the edge. Okay, and then getting rid of the flash on this part, we're illuminating the brighter side back here, which is okay. Really, we just want to avoid the little pouch that is in the shot, which is right there. We don't want that, so let's erase that there. Okay, so this is looking okay. I might take out a bit of this right here. But here's the mask and what it looks like. Very rough and ready, but like it's really just the results that we're looking at here that matter. So yeah, I don't want this to be super bright back here. It still is ending up looking like that. Oh yeah, I actually need to use. There we go. Wrong color. Okay. So yeah, this is a method that worked fine in this instance. I'll show you some other ones here. So let me go ahead and I'll just delete that. One thing you could try to do here is use the object selection tool to select the mirror. This doesn't work a lot of the time, in my humble opinion. It did an okay job here, but it tends to just kind of like get all kinds of crazy nonsense around the edges. As you can see, it's not the best. So one thing we could do is just use like a polygonal lasso tool. We can see how this looks. I'm just trying to show you a lot of different methods, and then as you practice them, you'll be able to recognize like, oh, okay, in this instance, it might be better to just brush out. In this instance, I'll try object selecting the mirror. And then, you know, you have a lot of flexibility with layer masks, in all honesty. So I'm going to go just right over the top of the faucet there, and I will use the object selection tool to remove it in a moment. So let's go up here. That. Okay, so I've selected the mirror. Use the object selection tool here, hold Alt, and I'll just go over this whole faucet, and it will just take out the little extra bump right there. Okay. Good. So now I'm going to do Shift F6 to feather the selection. We'll just feather it by 1 pixel. And then let's go ahead and bring up the one we actually want to use here, and we'll click Layer Mask. And so that'll do the job fairly fine. Again, we don't want this stuff happening over here. We have a flare and we have my pouch. So what we can do is we can just stick this layer with a layer mask into a group so that we can put its own layer mask on it. So like, for example, if I invert it, you can see that, okay, now the whole thing is turned off. And now here, I can actually just put a gradient. So I'll hit G, and then like, I don't want this or the pouch, so I'll start right here with black. Hold Shift, and you can just kind of see I'm only affecting the mirror here because I'm on the layer mask of the group. So let's go ahead and just like, let's toy around with what looks natural here. Maybe push this just kind of to the edge of the shower. And I kind of like maybe somewhere around there. There we go. I think that's the most natural look right there. Somewhere in this vicinity. Okay, cool. And so now we have repaired the mirror. I am no longer in it. The flash is no longer in it. The only thing we have to worry about is the stuff we need to remove. So I'm going to go ahead and merge these two down, Control E. I'm going to use this backup layer that I kept to fix the window here. So this should be an easy job. I'm going to hold Alt to hide it with a layer mask here. And then I'm going to come in with maybe the object selection tool will probably do the job. Let's see how this does here, just selecting the actual window chunk. I don't understand sometimes, you know? The colors are obvious and yet it still struggles. Let me try the whole window. This could work fine. Geez, what is going on, man? You know, sometimes it's faster to just come in and be like, you know what? I'm just going to go boop, 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 boop. Someone on my previous video said amazing tutorial. Do you think they're going to say it again after I say boop 4 times? Okay. So there's that. Let's go ahead and feather this by like 2 pixels. And we'll switch this to white in the background color and hit delete. And look at that. That's fine. Perfectly fine. No one's going to notice that. Yeah. Polygonal lasso tool coming in clutch. Okay, so let's merge those down. So now all evidence of me is gone. All evidence of the flash is gone. We just have cameras to erase. And then we'll turn the ambient back on. And look at that. Very nice. Maybe a bit too much ambient. Let's try 75. That's not too bad. Just adds a little bit of, you know, realism to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do, I'll do my flatten shortcut here, which is not working again. I don't know why this happens. Anyone else have this issue where all of a sudden your shortcuts just like disable themselves What's up with that? All right, there we go. So let's do maybe like a replace color layer. I see like kind of a darker shade over here. We'll just drop it by like 24, 25. Come in with the brush and we'll just get rid of some of those kind of uglier colors in the recesses there. Maybe some in here. I have noticed, and you might come across this too, that the mirror reflections have like an excessive amount of maybe green or yellow or blue in them at times. So like, for example, if I were to just like open this up in Camera Raw, and I go to Color Mixer and I push the greens, that's actually not too bad. It's probably more yellows. Let me see, yellow. Yeah, it's a lot of yellows in there. So there's actually some things you could do here. I have some actions I've created. I put this in the zip file. This is a -60 to orange, -40 to yellow. Hit play, and it just creates a layer with a hidden, hide all layer mask on it. And this is what it looks like. It takes out -60 to orange and -40 to yellow. And so I'm just going to go ahead and come in here. Just very loosely do this. It doesn't even need to be all that special, because I just want to get that, okay? And then brush, and I'm just going to, with white as the foreground color there, just kind of erase some of the yellow that's on the walls here. I don't know why mirrors tend to do this for me, but yeah, you just might benefit from that. So this is before, after, just kind of takes away some of that yellow. All right, let's flatten and let's see what we can do with the remove tool. We'll start here, see what we can get. I'm not super optimistic, but we'll see. A little bit there. This is honestly, like, this is mainly just for the thumbnail of this video, because I wouldn't have a camera near the shower when I'm taking normal real estate photos. But what can you do? Can I just get all of this? Let's see if I can get all of this. Should be fine. Yeah, easy peasy. Okay. So let me try to get this one here as well. This is not exactly a riveting part of the video, and also I'm hopeful that my graphics card can handle recording this as well as using the remove tool at the same time. I'm actually in the process. I'm waiting for a delivery. I used the Prime Day deals to get a new graphics card finally. I got a, is it RTX 3060 12 gigabyte? Which should speed up my editing tremendously. I also have 128 gigs of RAM coming, which I'm even more excited about in some ways. Because when you're doing Lightroom and Photoshop work, and you have like a bunch of, images coming in as layers, and Lightroom is attempting to, process all of them, that can become a bit taxing on your computer, and then you can't like sit and watch like YouTube, which is a little frustrating. Like when I'm editing, it's really hard to have YouTube open. So I just like listen to Spotify, which is also fine, but this is going okay so far. Yeah, it's actually not looking too bad. Can't even tell it's there. Now, can I get this in one click, one go here? I don't think so, but we will try. We will certainly try. Again, this would not normally be happening. I was limited when I was recording this video. All right, how are you going to do? Any weird smudges? It's okay. It's okay. It did all right. Look at that. Let's get rid of this shadow on the wall. Look at that. It's still kind of there. It does. The remove tool, I've kind of noticed that the spot healing brush actually kind of helps more with like the wall shadows and smudges than the remove tool does. But there you go. Finished image. The remove tool came in clutch. it beat out the object selection tool today, so there's that. Okay, bring it back in here, post blend bump. I noticed that these, like I said, images that don't have, they have white walls and not a lot of windows, tend to come out looking a little hot, so I sometimes just take off the 15 exposure. But look at that, that's not too bad. We could maybe come down in here and just sort of like clean up a few of the colors here. Maybe like a -10 there, -10 there, just in case there's any green, just in case there's any blue. There is a bit of blue in the window. But this is before, after, before, after. It's not much, and like, you know, if it's only before and after that it looks like, oh, you're actually kind of like taking out some of these colors. It's like, yeah, but if you didn't know to look at it the first time, you wouldn't notice it was there. So let's do constraint crop, +5 on the distortion, and vertical. I will show you guys a different method of getting verticals. If you are not happy with like auto or vertical, you just don't like the results you're getting, you can use the guided method for like exact results. So if you just come into like one side of the frame here, find something that should be true vertical, hit Shift T, come in here and just click and drag a line. The longer the better. And then hold space, click and drag over to this side. And we'll just get like right here. Can I right click? No, no, click, no, no. Click this. Zoom out a little bit. Whoops. Okay, let's do this again. In here. Just kind of loosely draw this line. Boom. Not much of an adjustment needed, truly. If you want, you can actually like make this a bit longer when you zoom out. It's still looking okay, actually. Surprisingly enough. Yeah, I only use guided when I'm doing really high-end work or the image is just not straightening well, in my opinion. But there you go. There's the hallway bathroom. Very nice, very simple. All of the orange that was up here off of these lights is pretty much gone because we shot this at 250th of a second. So a lot of the ambient was cut out and we can just get a really nice clean view of the room. Now, it's kind of up to you guys when you're shooting as to how much of the ambient you want to remove. Because shooting this at 250, I mean, you look at this and it's like, yeah, these are orange bulbs. Like, even if I white balance for the toilet here, or whatever, like we're definitely still getting some orange. This room is probably not 3000. It's just these bulbs that are giving that off. Like if I come down here, maybe it's probably going to give me a warmer result. No, it's giving me a cooler result. But you can see that they're orange for sure, and they're casting that all over the room. And so when we shot it at 250th of a second, like that's just all gone. And we're getting mostly just the even color of the walls to some degree, you know, kind of mixed with the color of the flash. You can never really get true color exactly just because of the nature of the world we live in. But it's up to you guys how much ambient you want to cut out. In some later videos, I'll talk about, you know, the different stops of exposure below ambient that you can go into. I didn't really touch a ton on that concept in the actual shooting videos. I did briefly, but like I didn't really explain it. But like if I were to have shot this at, you know, a higher shutter speed, a faster, slower shutter speed, I should say, more of the ambient light from these light bulbs would have showed up in the shot. I probably would have needed less flash power as well. So it's up to you as to how much of the ambient light you're wanting to cut out of your images, how clean you want them to look versus how realistic to the actual like being there on the property. So it's a balance you have to strike and find for yourself. So anyway, there is the hallway bathroom done. Let's move on to the next video.